Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It's Zorya and Ilona here with Multifamily Her. We have weekly lives on every Saturday at 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time on our Facebook pages. And today we have a very exciting guest speaker. Her name is Sharon Cayetano. And Sharon is a mom of four. She is a realtor, a real estate investor, and she's an avid outdoor enthusiast and Ironman competitor. I think we need to ask Sharon more about it. Yeah, athlete, triathlon athlete. So today we're excited to welcome Sharon to our Multifamily Her Live, and here we go. Let's see. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us in the midst of, maybe tell us where you are going today.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so bright. And I'm someone who feels like if I have glasses on, it feels really rude. But I'm like sitting here, I might have to put my glasses on because it's awfully bright. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. I'm in Ontario, guys. I live and work in Ontario. I love Alberta. I know you guys are Alberta based. I invest out in Alberta. But currently on my way to an Ironman competition. So I've pulled over on the side of the road. If there's a delay, I'm in cottage country and we do the best we can in Northern Ontario to get some reception. But who knows? So yeah, Ironman race in the morning. So I've got to go check my bike in and prepare and do all sorts of race prep stuff today.
That's amazing. We are really interested to hear more about your experiences as such a busy entrepreneur, and you still manage to find time for competitions and triathlon. It's amazing. And it's not just competitions, you have to prep for it. So I know how hard and intense that is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, so it's interesting. I'm happy to be on these calls and happy to share a little bit about myself. People are always saying, how do you fit it all in? That's normally the question that I get. I don't want to preempt your questions. I'll let you ask what you want of me. And obviously we're female entrepreneurs and we're here regarding investment properties, and we can talk all day long about that as well. That's the beauty about networking and working with women. We are more multifaceted. We're far more interesting than men. We are far more engaging. We accomplish far more, and yet we discount ourselves and our confidence on a regular basis. So there's this real juxtaposition to females and female entrepreneurs that drives me absolutely insane. I'll try not to swear. It really is a soft spot for me. I get so angry that we downplay our abilities. Absolutely.
All the time.
Constantly.
You play small all the time.
Yes, and I'm so sick of it. So yeah, ultimately, I don't know. I'm just going off. I don't know if you asked me a question, but I'll tell you a little bit about myself.
Please
I imagine that's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
So, I mean, guys, I wasn't always a trusted real estate advisor. Like anyone, we get into this for a variety of reasons. So I was a mom. I have 4 children, like you said. So for 10 years, I stayed home with those children. And whatever I do it 1,000%. There's no 100%. It's you're going to do it. You're going to do it. So I stayed home with my kids. I didn't feed 4. I fed 7 children. I made sure that, everything was to the nth degree. I mommed hard. And then my youngest turned 2. And I thought, well, I need my next baby. You got to have some restraint and stop having babies at some point. So real estate investing became my 5th baby. I'm someone who sees potential in absolutely every moment of every day and wants to fill it. So obviously there's an element of all entrepreneurs that we're driven. And anyone that watches this call or watches the repeat recognizes that we're driven individuals. We're wired differently. We're looking for more. We're wanting to support ourselves and to surround ourselves with people that say, hey, you, Sharon, you're normal. Hey, you guys watching this, you guys are normal. And despite everyone else that might tell you you're crazy, you do too much, you're working too hard, this is nuts.
Yeah.
Right? So, essentially now I've been able to get myself to the point quite quickly. So my youngest, going back to the timeline for me, my youngest again was 2, and I had taken real estate courses while they were young. I never stopped, while I was with them. I took real estate courses to become a realtor. So to be a realtor, it does take some skill to excel at that. A lot of people don't believe that that's the case. It's an occupation that's, kind of frowned upon as far as being easy and whatnot. But I excelled at that very, very quickly. And with that came the knowledge of real estate investing. So I was lucky enough to be immersed in this world. I wouldn't suggest that it's not a bad path for someone. It absolutely is a fabulous path, but you don't need to be a realtor to get into investing. There's no, there's absolutely no way that you have to be, have the inside scoop. Work with a good realtor for sure.
So how did you start, Sharon? Yeah, sorry, did you say something?
I was going to say, yeah, it's a really good thing to mention because that's when I first started, I thought I had to become a realtor. I was starting to look into what I had to do to become a realtor, but like at least quickly learned that wasn't the case. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And deals come to you and you know what, if you know how to run numbers, if you know, there's a benefit. There's the negotiation piece, I think, is the most important part. When you can remain arm's length, we get emotionally involved. Let's be real. We're not wired like men. We get emotionally involved. We work to, and I'm generalizing absolutely, but I will allow that of myself in that, we can tend to get emotionally involved in purchases and in buildings. And let's say we've done so much work, we just want it to work. We need that person who's going to say, well, this doesn't make sense, or this is it. Let's have a closer look. And it just is more business-like, and you're able to negotiate much, much harder when you're at arm's length. You also see deals and off-market deals that wouldn't otherwise be presented to you, but by all means, it doesn't need to be your path. So I started small like everybody. I started small with obviously my own properties, and I flipped 4 in a row. And I did all the renovations myself. I was the kind of person who had work boots on and power tools in my hand.
Wow, like the actual labor yourself, or you GP'd it? Oh wow,
all of it.
Amazing.
I laid my own floor, my own tile. I put up my drywall. I did the mudding, the painting, the sanding, all of it.
Sharon, what don't you know how to do? Like, tell me, is there something that you don't know how to do?
No. I don't know how to slow down. I don't know how to slow down. And then another really big point that I'm learning in this, if there's any takeaway from today that we can learn to not be like me, I'm learning to leverage. I don't leverage well because I can do everything.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest mistake that I made. Going back to the beginning, that was the biggest mistake I made. How much faster could I have grown if I didn't do that? It was absurd. So my children thought, they would go to sleep and the air compressor would kick on, and they'd hear the brrrr of the air compressor, and they're like, "What are you doing down there, Mom?" I said, "I'm building a shrinkinator to keep you small." No, I'm laying hardwood floor. I'm not. So it's one of those things. It's unconventional, and my choice, my path was a little unconventional. My kids call my first duplex. They still call it, "Mom, do you still own the ice cream house?" Why do they call it the ice cream house? I bribed them with ice cream every time I went to work on it, and they came with me, and they're like, "Can we go to the ice cream house today?" And they came, and we worked, and they were there, learning to walk through rubble, and we made it work. I made it work. I'm very independent, and but I definitely, don't recommend that. We don't need to do that. Learn from me what not to do. But fast forward 5 years later, I have about 220 doors. It's been a good ride. What I've realized is that the BRRRR projects that most of us undergo is really, I think, the most ideal and fastest way. I mean, I do multiple other income streams as well within the real estate investment world. But a solid BRRRR project, guys, there's nothing better than that. In the larger BRRRR buildings or the larger apartment buildings, it's the same BRRRR mentality and structure than you're doing on any of the smaller stuff. And you guys,
so is it mostly multi? Sorry, is it mostly multis that you do, or single family as well?
All multis now. Yeah. So the smaller stuff got sold. The smaller stuff was sold off. I was surprised with divorce papers maybe almost 2 years ago. Which I was investing on my own simply because it was like we were together for many, many years, and over 20 years, and our trajectory was quite different. I really found a passion. It didn't match where his passion was or where his life wanted to be, and there's somewhat my gift papers in the sense that there wasn't an alignment there. So that being said, those properties were sold off, and now it's only the larger stuff. And it just makes logical sense.
Yeah.
It's good to start on the smaller stuff, absolutely, but definitely the larger properties. and finding the niche markets. Like right now, it's not niche for you. For us, it's heading out to Edmonton, into your market. So I'm sorry we're raising prices.
And we were
Blame it
fortunate
on me.
and we were fortunate enough to do a walkthrough of one of your properties here in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Actually, two of them, right? We did it.
We're kind of breaking ground a little bit in Edmonton in the West. People are a little flustered by our business model and what they see. But hey, honestly, like I'm sort of used to people going like, "What the hell are you doing now?" And so it doesn't faze me. But what we care about is that the bank did not say that. The bank said, "Wow, we're going to evaluate you, and we're going to tell you now after your appraisal is that you're worth $190 a door." What did I buy that at? $89 a door.
Yeah.
A year ago. So we made $100,000 per door.
Yeah.
In a year in Edmonton.
That's amazing.
And then another building we bought at 94 a door. Margins were smaller there. We bought at 94 a door, and we just refied at 170 a door, and we're going to have those rolled into the MLI Select by September probably. So
are you doing long-term
that again
in your properties?
You tell me, guys. You tell me in Edmonton what we're going to do. It's one of those things that we have to read the market there. Obviously, it's cyclical. We see the pattern that is cyclical out west, and I'm going to defer that question to you. I think we're going to see a really good buying opportunity in the next 1 to 2 years. I think regardless of us jerks from Ontario coming out and driving the price up, there's still really, really good value. We just locked up another 90 units at 94 a door. Just last week. So I think the potential is going to be there for the next couple of years to have some really good buys, and then maybe we're looking at a 5 to 7 year hold. Who knows?
Yeah. I think we're seeing the same thing. Like everything I'm reading, it's, all the signals are there to buy and hold. No one's saying that you should be selling right now. We kind of had that period right in the spring, but now it's the time to buy and hold for sure.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what we want to do too. We're able to get some really good rents now, guys, and we're able to get some cash flowing properties. So why not hold them? I mean, we're in multi-residential. It's so low risk once you get things stabilized. So why not hold it? That's sort of my opinion on it. So yeah.
Zorya, do you have a question? Because I have a question that I'm itching to ask Sharon, but you go ahead because I feel like we've been speaking.
Well, I wanted to go back. You said, thanks for kind of sharing your journey. So now, like you said, like, don't do it the way I did. So what would you do different if you went back?
Specific to my investment journey, I think you just need to take action sooner. Okay. So if I was to, let's go right back. If we were to do things differently, because I think this is where we can all collectively learn to change. I haven't asked questions of you guys because obviously you've asked me to come on. But if I would say, do you have children, and how incorporate that, because in this industry, it's all men. It is all men. We're at these conferences, we're surrounded by men. So the opportunity to kind of have these discussions doesn't happen as often. So it's a real pleasure. But I would go right back. And again, you asked specifically about my journey, but let's talk about our general journey. I would want to have been educated as a child. So I think it's now our responsibility to educate our children. I think that there's just no discussion about finances, no discussion about business, about opportunities. Sure, they do a cute little lemonade stand, but does that kid know what they're selling for 25 cents? Do they know what their margins are? My children do. My children have ideas. They pitch them to me all the time. We work through them. We talk about it. My 7-year-old wanted a hot dog cart for Halloween, not to trick or treat with, not to be a hot dog vendor. He said, I want to be a hot dog vendor on Halloween. He wanted to set up a cart and sell hot dogs because he knew 1,800 kids came to that street and he wanted to sell hot dogs. There's 2 parents. They're going to be hungry. He's going to market. I would have liked those discussions to have happened at a younger age. So I think it's important. For me personally, when I realized what my choices were, I would have surrounded myself with the right people, and whoever that crowd, that tribe is for you, surround yourself with them sooner. Look around your family, look around your friends, and are they the people for you? Are they the people that are going to allow you to get where you want to go? This is repetitive. We hear this all the time, but take action on it. Don't just sit in the seminar or read the book and go, gee, I'm going to surround myself with da-da-da. It's not positive people. Everyone can be positive. Everyone can say you're doing great. Where are they going? what are they doing? Who are they surrounding themselves with that you would then like to know? Do that sooner, because as soon as you do that, you realize opportunities open, and it's not even opportunities, it's just your brain opens. Oh, I can do that. Oh, well, why can't I go do that? Why can't I buy that property? Why shouldn't I go ask for JV and do that with confidence? And I think that segues into probably the one that I could have answered. The short answer to your question would have been, I would have JV'd sooner.
Oh, really?
I got stuck thinking, oh, I can't do it yet because I don't have this or that. I don't have the funds. I don't have the expertise. I don't have the experience. Well, guess what? You can get the experience on the job. You can find that person who's going to trust you with that down payment and with your BRR funds, your money to do your renovation. And I remember my self-talk, and I remember I had literally nothing. And I was like, I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to pitch this. And I sat down and I prepared myself, and I'm driving, and I drive a truck, and I'm driving my truck, and I'm driving along going, I can do this. I'm going to pitch myself at a 25% equity partnership. I'm going to do all the work. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to By the time I got there, I had talked myself into, nope, you've got this. You're 50%. Here's what you're going to bring. And I had no experience. I had nothing to offer except sheer grit and determination. And my first BRR was a 50% BRR opportunity with someone who had some extra coin. It was my second real estate deal. I knew she'd sold her house and didn't know where to put her money. And I immediately saw an opportunity and said, hey, would you like to work together? So that feels like so long ago, and it wasn't that long ago, but it does feel so long ago that I had to talk myself into confidence. I had to convince myself before I could convince anyone else that I had my shit together and I had enough grit and know-how, even though I didn't have it, not really. I was going to get the know-how. I was going to surround myself with the people with the know-how, and I was going to get that done.
So Sharon, like my question is, this is amazing. Like you hit it right on the nail about taking action and surrounding yourself with the right people. And mostly like what comes before is the idea and the thought and your own attitude about how you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself, so that others can see you in that light. First of all, the first person who needs to believe in yourself is yourself. So can you tell us a little bit more about your journey, how you got there? Like, how did you get that confidence?
Okay, so let's be real for a second. I don't have anything more than anybody else. People look at me and go, oh, whatever. Oh, you're this or that. I have as much imposter syndrome as anybody else. I shouldn't be here. I'm not good enough. I'm not equipped enough. I'm not like, I tell the same stories as anybody else. I'm heading to an Ironman Triathlon. I've done them for countless years. Am I good enough to do that triathlon? Of course I am. Do I wonder that every single time? So what I might project to people is sheer confidence, utter confidence. I could walk into a room and I have complete confidence. And what I would say to that is, like, I'm training my body and I'm going to do these things. Confidence is a muscle that strengthens with use. It is no different. It is simply a muscle that repetitive confidence strengthens with use. And again, if we don't think this about ourselves, we have to fake it in ourselves. And then eventually it sinks in and we do. Now, do I consider myself a confident person? Yes. But does that mean, I win every day? No. And to be truly confident is to not actually care what anybody else thinks of you, to not actually care what anybody else does. And I think that's a journey. So I'm 41. I feel like that's a journey that, maybe it's very cliche. I do think that it comes with some age. I do think it comes with some knocks. Not that if you haven't had some horrendous experiences happen to you, that, you're anything less confident by any means. But I do think just having the ability to make decisions for yourself, the more decisions you make in business, the more confidence you gain. It is just simply that repetition of recognizing your confidence, recognizing, hey, I did that and it was successful. I did this and it was successful. And just digging deep. Absolutely, just digging deep. But I think it's really important to not compare your insides to somebody else's outsides. So if you're in here struggling with, am I good enough? Do I think I'm an investor? Am I qualified enough? Is someone that I'm pitching to going to believe I have what it takes? It absolutely is something that you have to dig deep and find that. You can't look at me and say, wow, she's got 220 doors and be like, wow, I could never do that. You can't compare where you're at with where anybody else is, because if I did that, I'd turn around and be like, wow, look at him. He just bought a skyline. You know, where you are right now is exactly where you are meant to be on your journey. And I think the sabotage comes in when we start to look at others. So I think pick where you're at, decide where you want to be. I think it's very powerful to decide where that is. You know, and if you're sitting with people that shocks, that's how you know you're in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
That's how you know you need to change your network. If I turn around to the table and say, I want to have 100 million in net worth by the time I'm 60, and they blink, then I'm probably not with the right people. If I say I want to make $500 million and they're like, you're amazing, let's do it, what's your plan, then maybe they're my people.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, that's so true about being a muscle. Like, even I've found it with public speaking, like the more you do it, just you build that confidence. And I had a coach actually once, you know, going back to the confidence thing, just kind of forced me to go back and look at difficult situations I had in my life, and, you know, remembering those situations and that I got through them, and just like looking back, everybody's gotten through hard things. And remembering that really brings confidence that you can, you know, continue doing that.
Absolutely. And there's so many tools, there's so many books, there's so many things, but ultimately, if it comes down to something, it's taking action. It's taking action, because if you don't, you're just going to get stuck. You can educate, you can read, you can spend all day long just on this wheel of, oh, I'm going to do this one day, I'm going to do this one day, I'm going to do this one day. You just got to do it.
So how would you recommend? So Sharon, we haven't introduced a multifamily her to you like properly. So what we strive with multifamily her is to inspire women invest in real estate, and we want to show representation, like you were saying, that there is not enough women in the industry. We want to show what other women are doing in real estate industry with investing, and that it's possible to be a mom and an athlete, and you know, you have a full-time job with being a realtor and you're still investing. So we want to inspire and educate. And if you're talking to somebody who is sitting watching us and thinking, how can I ever start? How can I ever be where they are? What would you recommend? How could they start? Where would you start?
Yeah, it's so individual, right? I would start by reaching out to someone like me, like you. I would start to having conversations. And I would start to, because you're looking for a unique one-on-one. But if you were to look at the steps required, you do have to connect. I think we've covered most of them just casually in conversation. But if we're going to really pinpoint, let's say we're going to pinpoint 3 really key steps: educate yourself, read, get on podcasts, get on those. There's so many incredible, mostly male, so many incredible real estate education podcasts. So educating yourself, absolutely, surrounding yourself with the right people, and then getting your team. Who's your team? Who are the people? And again, it's unique to everybody, but who are the people? Those are the 3 things that I would say. So your team, as in your investing team. Maybe it's your partner, maybe it's not. I mean, my experience, and I don't dwell on that. I think very, very highly of my ex-husband, and I will never say anything poorly. But maybe your immediate family or your spouse is on your team. Maybe you're looking for a JV partner, but most assuredly, you're looking for a really good lawyer, a really good realtor, an appraiser, and an inspector you can trust. And you're building your team, you're building the people that are going to guide you in the right direction. And lenders are really key in there as well. So those are the 3 steps that I would take. You know, I mean, that's very, very, very general, but that's it in a nutshell. Those are your 3 steps. And if you get to step 1, great. You're never going to get to step 3 if all you do is educate.
Yes, you know? Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But you get to step 2, and you're probably going to get to step 3, because if you get to step 2, which again, the first one is educate, second is build your, you know, surround yourself with your network. If you get into that network, you're going to get to 3, which is build your team and take action.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I have another question, Zorya. Do you have a question? We are coming.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So Sharon, can you tell us a little bit about your morning routine? Like, how do you start your day that you're able to take so much in?
Oh yeah, this is the funny part. So yeah, I generally speaking, again, I surround myself with people that are really high value to me, and they're my high value in business, but they're also my training partners. So the people that I network with, my partner, Mark Loeffler, will often be up. We're at CrossFit. I'll start with just mine. So my alarm goes off at 4:30. So 4:30 in the morning, I'm up. I read at least 10 pages a day. And it sounds ridiculous to have such a specific number, but it's very easy to say I don't have time. I don't feel like I have the time. If you just simply read 10 pages a day, it's incredible how many books you can get through. So I read 10 pages a day. I journal every morning. So even if it's simply one really, really good one is the gratitude. It's the 5-minute journal. Mm-hmm. So if anybody knows the 5-minute journal, it's just 3 quick little things. At the end of the day, it's 3 quick things that you look back on and reflect. So I do that, or I have a longer journal as well. I'm a big note taker. I'm a big writer. I'm in my Remarkable all the time. I've got my different categories in my Remarkable journal, and I absolutely love it. So that being said, we're getting to be 5:15, 5 o'clock, 5:15, and I'm exercising by 5:30. And so there's always, depending on what it is that day, I'm very specific, very purposeful. And I think all of us, if we're purposeful and intentional about our actions, we can accomplish a lot. That's the only way I accomplish a lot. So that's a variety. It's a swim, bike, run, obviously is triathlon. I also do CrossFit multiple times a week. I also rollerblade. I also compete in mountain bike races. I will, in the wintertime, snowboard, cross-country ski, you name it. I love the mountains in Alberta this year. But that's an everyday thing. That's not I wonder if this is a good thing to do tomorrow. Nope. Everything is laid out. I get up, I go, I do it. And then I'm home by the time the kids wake up. Now, talking about playing small, I used to come home and change back into pajamas and get back into bed so that my kids, when they wake up, could come down the hall and they could come in and they could curl up with me. And I was a normal mom. I didn't want my kids to know that I'd been up doing this crazy thing, or that, I'd be kayaking at 5 a.m. to watch the sun come up. And I didn't, and then it's only in the last little bit, I went, why was I playing small? Even to my kids, I was pretending, mommy's normal, come and have a little cuddle. But what's normal? So anyway, that's sort of my morning routine, spend it with the kids. And then I'm in the office usually by 8:30 or 9. Or I have complete flexibility over my days. That's important to me, to have absolute complete flexibility. And so if it's a day in the office, I really value that. I do a lot of the operations of our Top Gun investment group. I handle all of the operations for that. And as far as Caetano and Loeffler Realty Services, I've got my finger on the pulse for everything there. And I also have a number of other companies as well that I feel like we're going to run over time if I talk too much about the others.
But can you tell us how old your kids are? We haven't asked that question.
Yeah, so my youngest was a baby. So I was pregnant with my youngest when I got into real estate. He was 2 when I started in real estate, and he's soon to be 8 on July 23rd. And then it's this real pattern of 8, 10, 12, 14.
Wow.
So I built some big businesses with toddlers on my hip, shushing them, hoping they were quiet, explaining that, they're in the background, I'm not going to worry about it, bringing them to showings, bringing them to the office, bringing them as needed. I've had some horrendous experiences. I was looking this direction at this luxury property. It was a beautiful 10-acre property with this huge, amazing house I was selling, and he kept tugging at my shirt and saying, "Mama, Mama, Mama." And I said, "Yeah, I love you. Yeah, you're fine. He's 3. And I was fully paying attention to this couple who I didn't know, who I was showing this property to. And I'm getting this is a horrible story, by the way. I don't want to end with this one. You're going to have to keep talking. Anyway, he was completely messing his pants. And I'm this mom that's just trying to do it all. And he's like, "Mama, Mama, Mama, Mama." And I went, "Oh my gosh, I can't do it all." So when people look at me and they say, "Wow, you're this, or you're that, or you're amazing," you know what? If you haven't failed today, you have done something wrong. You've just got to keep doing. And then if you hit 80% of those things right, then that's great. But yeah, so my kids are little. They're little, and they've been amazing troopers through all of this growth. And I'm excited to see where they end up. We definitely have awesome conversations.
That's amazing, Sharon. You're such a role model for your kids and other women investing in real estate. It's great. And
I just show like the realness of it, right? Like everybody has that, but like most of the time that is not shared on social media. So you just see like, oh wow, they're doing all these things, but you don't see the other side.
Yeah. And it takes someone about 30 seconds to realize that what you see on social media, as soon as you talk to me, you're going to get the real me. You're going to get I've got raccoons in the attic of my investment property, and I'm trying to literally get raccoons out of a bedroom, and I've got, the realness of the kids, the realness of having teenagers now, and all of it, explaining, I've got to go and do this because, and it's just that struggle, that balance. And what I've realized for me, and I can't project my experience to anyone, all I can do is share mine. There is no balance as an entrepreneur and a mom. There is absolutely no balance, and I don't strive for balance at all. I never strive for balance. I strive to do an amazing job over here, whatever that is. Maybe that's an investment property, maybe that's a real estate client. And then I come home and I strive to do a really amazing job over here. There's no balance that keeps us balanced on both. It's like this. I'm awesome.
It's so true.
Awesome over there.
Yeah.
And I don't try to be. So when my kids, they understand, do you know what? It's mom's turn with clients right now. We're going to have a really amazing time. And then I get to shut that off and I get to go. But yeah, balance is a mythical creature.
I don't like that word either.
Sharon, you're just a definition of an unstoppable woman, because an unstoppable woman does not stop if she faces failures or difficulties. She goes on in spite of those. So
absolutely. And I have to give you guys credit. I know we don't have much time left. I have to give you guys credit for seeing a need and working to fill that need. And so I'm inspired by that. I think you guys are doing an amazing service. I think we could have a whole other, we could talk for hours and days about imposter syndrome and how females are wired to accept what's handed to us and be grateful for it. And there's such a juxtaposition with a man that's handed something and says, oh, that's great, but what about more? And we don't have that. And I'd love to kind of adjust that. But yeah, so good for you guys. I'm happy to have been here today with you. And if anyone wants to reach out, they can find me on Instagram. It's at Sharon Cayetano. I do have handles for my other companies as well, but that's my personal one. It's open, and people can reach me directly there.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. And it's great to have you here to kind of help us, change that, because it is really our mission is to kind of change the industry and have more women represented.
Oh, I tell you, I've got videos I should send you, or I should post them. I took a video sitting in the room. I just panned the room slowly. And it was there was no women. It was multiple conferences, and this one was the Edmonton conference that I was at in, was it March?
We saw you there and in that other
conference. So if you just took your phone and panned the room that I was in, I don't know which one it was now. I think it was construction financing or something. There was no other women in the room. So I thought there's just something to change for sure. Do you know what I'm going to do? You guys have inspired me to post that, so I'll post that.
That's very telling when you actually see it on camera.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, all right. Thanks so much, Sharon. Have a great time at your competition tomorrow and today, and until next time.
Yeah,
sounds great.
It's really nice chatting with you.
Great to chat to you guys too. Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Bye.